Fast forward, you need come more channel so I'll say AGH Politics Avenue. Podcast of the training making headlines. Unia and EGB at the Exumbo. Mr. say at this point in time, young call a year political highways in a jadema. Unia and ye asem kotwakra. Na ye bo ebra ye in symphony ma. Unia a year National Anti-Illegal Mining Secretariat, NIMOS, to me a crack it down a year. Illegal mining bia onuya omu identifying say we Church of Pentecost elder Konongo branch your friend David Bobie Peter or ye illegal mining onuya meno ka say omusa asonuma enye asem koto akra na Mr. say yemu ransi minim na ye hwene ye ko ene de eba ha AGH Politics Avenue.
Now, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has apprehended a foreman of an illegal small-scale mining site at Achimmoso near Dwaso in the Asante Akim South District of the Ashanti region, following a targeted enforcement operation conducted along the Kume River across the lands of Moso, Chichibiase, and Bima. The suspect, identified as Elder David Bobie Peter, disclosed during questioning that he is an elder of the Church of Pentecost branch at Konongo. The operation commenced when the NIMOS task force descended on a sprawling illegal mining enclave at Chichibiase, where several youth were caught actively engaged in mining activities at the time of the surprise raid. The task force pursued the fleeing miners over a considerable distance, but the chase yielded no arrests at that stage, as illegal miners proved to be intimately familiar with the bush paths and escape routes within and around the Galamsey enclave. Notwithstanding the inability to apprehend the fleeing operators, the task force proceeded to dismantle 8 Shangfan machines and 4 wooden gold washing platforms through controlled burning. Several pipe hoses deployed in the illegal mining operation were equally set ablaze, while 12 water pumping machines were seized as exhibits. Now, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Cassiel Atto-Forson, and his deputy, Thomas Nyako Ampim, on Thursday morning filed their 2025 personal income tax returns at the Ghana Revenue Authority head office in Accra. The minister encouraged individuals and business owners to file and pay their taxes on time.
Today, myself and my deputy decided to file our taxes together and to show to the world that we are not only asking others to pay their taxes, but we are also involved in the process of paying taxes and also filing our taxes. The action demonstrates a shared commitment to voluntary tax compliance and good governance. Paying taxes is a civic duty.
Let's begin this afternoon for you on the Labour front, because the National Federation of Labour says it will not be a part of this year's May Day celebration. The May Day celebration, the Federation says, follows unresolved concerns about inclusiveness and shared ownership of the annual workers' event. May Day, which is set for the 1st of May each year, is observed globally to honor the struggles of workers for better conditions, including the historic campaign for the 8-hour working day, and it serves as a platform for labor advocacy and solidarity. But according to the Federation of Labour, the arrangement for this year's celebration has failed to reflect the collective voice of all organized labor groups, rather than be dominated by a single body. According to the Federation, an earlier consensus reached at a meeting over the delivery of speeches was rejected by the TUC, collapsing consensus across the Labour front. Let's take you to the phone lines right now and speak to Kenneth Kumsin. He's the Deputy Secretary General of the National Federation of Labour. He's joined us right now for a bit more in terms of details. Good afternoon to you, sir. Delivery of speeches. Is that a justifiable enough reason to have you abandon celebration of workers in the country?
Okay, Okay, well, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's important to set the record straight. It is not about the reading of speeches. It's not about the appearance at the forum. It's about the honoring the principles, the fundamental principles that undergird the holding of May Days across the world. If you may permit me, my brother, May Day traces its root to 1886, where workers in a factory protested massively against unregulated working hours. That protest was met with severe brutality by businesses. Now, a matter that took place in an enterprise escalated into a mass protest across the United States in 1886. It was not a center. It was not a center or a union. It was a mass workers' protest and gathering. That is the definition of inclusivity. That is the definition of working collectively to advance the welfare of Ghanaian workers.
And you say that inclusivity has been absent in all of the conversations going into tomorrow.
So there's a procedure that is always adopted in the determination of what goes into the program. Okay. First of all, there is what we call the planning committee that includes officers of the various unions of organized labor. Now, that committee is chaired by the TUC Deputy Secretary General. Now, when the committee concluded its work, the program was presented to leadership of organized labor. We took a forensic look, a critical look at the program, and we realized that even though they had assembled officers from different unions, the program did not reflect the status of organized labor. It was predominantly a TUC program. And obviously, when you see such a thing, it questions the very committee that appears to suggest an inclusive collective committee, because it is just like a form against the substance. So we have the form, but the substance was devoid of anything that looks like collectivism. So we said, listen, let's meet and then look at the program so that it reflects the collective power and force of organized labor. This is where the problem is. We invited the TUC leadership to the Ghana Employees Association on the 16th of April. They never showed up at the meeting. We established contact with the Secretary General, the Deputy. They never showed up. It was the GFL and Forum leadership that met there. And because we felt that, look, this is a matter we need to resolve, we sent them a resolution stating the reasons for which we think that they are absent create a very big problem in terms of working together as organized labor. They responded to the letter on the 21st of April and said to us that their steering committee have already taken a decision. Obviously, that kind of response undermines the very reason for which organized labor exists. And let me be very frank with you. This is a legal matter. And GFS has taken notes, and we are going to take legal action. You can see, organized labor is not TUC. There are about 180 unions in this country. TUC only organizes 19 of them. When you go to places like the United Kingdom, the US, and several other jurisdictions, the TUC commands the public service, the private sector, and all the unions are under them. So they can flaunt that with and power.
Right.
In this country.
So this concern as to a disregard, is it shared by other labor groups in the country ahead of May Day celebration? Because it's coming off as though it's just a Federation of Labor which is raising this concern, and the others are very much okay with the state of affairs going into tomorrow. Is this concern shared across?
Yes, because on the 16th, on the 22nd of April, the forum, which is made up of the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, and all the public sector institutions and DFL, signed a letter and unequivocally stated our position that based on on the conduct and the behavior of the TUC, we are not able to participate in this May Day because
so there won't be teachers. There won't be teachers as well during this May Day celebration. There won't be nurses as well. Is that the understanding we're getting from what you're telling us?
Well, I am not able to say that emphatically. As at 22nd of April, the position of these two labor centers was that we are not at the level of leadership. So membership, people have planned ahead of time. If they want to attend this workers' forum, that's fine. But as far as leadership is concerned, it's a protest. It's a statement, and not just a statement. We are taking other legal decisions. Other we are consulting with our lawyers. We are going to take legal action to make sure that there is a proper interpretation to the name organized labor in the act.
Right.
And that the conduct of organized labor truly reflects the sentiments, the views of Ghanaian workers across the country. So I am not able to say verbatim that yes, they are going to be there or not. As far as GFL is concerned, we have indicated unequivocally, clearly, succinctly, our position that we are not going to be there.
So all of your members will not be present tomorrow during the May Day celebration?
So the communication was in respect of the fact that those who have already made plans to be there, we will not stop them. But those who have not already put themselves in readiness to attend, they have the right to stay off. But let me also tell you, on Friday, we are holding a press conference in Accra, okay, on the May Day Ghana Federation of Labour, together with our brothers in the mining sector. We are holding a massive press conference to put up a statement in respect of the issues that confront the mining sector as a way of honoring the event May Day. Because as I told you, May Day is about the workers' rights.
Absolutely.
May Day is about ensuring that the rights of the workers are addressed, and we think that we can use that occasion to address that.
Right. I appreciate you speaking to us, Mr. Kumsin. That's Kenneth Kumsin, is the Deputy Secretary General of the National Federation of Labour, speaking to us this afternoon. We can bring you some other stories right now.
Let's talk about power now, because residents across Accra have endured weeks of intermittent power outages, disrupting homes, businesses, and their daily lives. But while many communities struggle to keep the lights on, some critical public institutions appear to be shielded. Checks from some health facilities in Accra reveal full operation, which the Electricity Company of Ghana says the uninterrupted power supply to these hospitals is due to special arrangements. Evelyn Tima reports.
For weeks now, darkness has become an unwelcome routine in several parts of Accra. From households to small businesses, residents say the unpredictable power cuts are taking a toll, spoiling food items, halting productivity, and increasing the cost of living. But a visit to a number of public health facilities tells a different story. Lights are on, machines are running, and services continue uninterrupted. Hospital authorities who spoke off camera say in situations where power goes off for a while, it is an internal problem and not from ECG. This serves as a reminder that in critical environments like hospitals, few seconds without power can mean the difference between life and death. Officials at the Electricity Company of Ghana say this is by design. According to the General Manager for External Communications at ECG, Dr. Charles Ni Ayiku, many health facilities are connected to dedicated power lines to ensure constant electricity supply.
If you find any hospital going off, then it could be a technical challenge, and that will come in immediately to fix. Yes, we understand the sensitive nature of the operations, so we are very careful about how we manage operation in these sensitive areas. Not just the hospitals, but other critical installations. No, they are on dedicated lines or sensitive feeders, so we don't touch them. What they can do is that they can always get in touch with the district office where they operate, so that we do the assessment and then make sure that we separate their lines, or if it means that there's going to be a new transformer or anything at all, we'll do the assessment and then we guide them accordingly.
He insisted that the move is aimed at protecting essential services, particularly for surgeries, neonatal care and emergency response. While most hospitals in Accra remain lit and operational, many communities continue to grapple with uncertainty, and residents are left hoping for a more reliable power supply in the weeks ahead. Well, authorities say efforts are underway to address the outages, although no clear timeline has been given for full restoration. Until then, the contrast between darkened neighborhoods and fully powered hospitals remains stark. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, power supply is expected to improve following the restoration of key generation units at the Akosombo Dam. But are consumers actually feeling the difference? Christabel Success Trevor visited some areas to find out.
I'm here at Caprice today, where residents have been dealing with unstable power supply over the recent weeks. Now, with authorities saying that this particular situation should improve following repairs of the 4-generation power units at Akosombo. We are here to find out, are people actually experiencing any difference? Come, let's find out.
It's still the same. Maybe it will take a time before it will have effect on us as citizens. So let's give the government some time. If it happens like that, then it brings interaction into the production.
It's true that this thing has come, but the government, I know that it can solve the problem. But my place, right now we see some improvement on it.
It's bad. I'm just praying to the government that he has said it, but it's not yet seeing it, so you have to work on it. People cold stores and marketplace, people who used to store in the cold store, they are finding it so difficult.
We have no problem here as at now. We don't know maybe after, but as at now, what we're experiencing from the last is the same thing.
For small business owners, consistency matters more than promises.
It's very poor. When you're going to do your hair at a salon and they just take the light off, it sounds some way, because now we doesn't have a new clippers that we can say even light off we can use it. Solar, something that will help us with the barbers or the business, the normal entrepreneur, is good, because the solar, if the sun is on, we can resolve more power. So if the sun go down, we can use the solar, not the lights.
They are preferring a very stable and reliable power supply. And until that consistency is achieved, many consumers say the power situation is not yet fully resolved. Christabel Success Trevor, TV3 News, Caprice.
We'll stay on related story. Now, ECG has restored electricity supply to the Afram Plains after a major outage triggered by damage to a marine cable in the early hours of Monday. Speaking in an interview, General Manager for External Communications at ECG, Dr. Charles Nyayiku, explained that the fault occurred about 400 meters into the River Afram, cutting off power to the entire Donkokrom district. He indicated that immediately after the incident, the Eastern Regional Maintenance Team mobilized to the site to conduct an assessment. Now, he also highlights the intervention of the District Chief Executive for Afram Plains South, Moses Tangbe, who played a pivotal role in resolving the challenge. He emphasized that the coordinated effort and ingenuity of the team helped avert what could have been a prolonged outage across Afram Plains. ECG also expresses appreciation to all who contributed to the restoration efforts and extended an apology to its cherished customers and the general public for the inconvenience caused. President John Dramani Mahama is this afternoon inspecting grid transmission stations in Akosombo after fire knocked off some 1,000 megawatts of power off the national grid. Engineers have worked to install the units of the Akosombo hydro plant that supplies electricity to Gridco Point. Government, despite the outages, has assured of continued efforts in restoring power to most parts of the country plunged into darkness. The president, after receiving briefings, is expected to make some directives on the current ongoing outages. We'll bring you more details on this visit by the president in subsequent broadcasts.
Now, about 4,500 security personnel and watchmen under the Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEU, say they are preparing to take action over unpaid overtime allowance for 14 years. Union members warn that they will begin a series of protests starting next week if government fails to act. The General Secretary of the union, King James Azotiba, spoke exclusively to our Labour Affairs correspondent, Daniel Opoku, in Accra.
Members of the union are a vital part of the country's senior high schools, working behind the scenes as janitors, laundry operators, administrative staff, and accounts officers, as well as cooks. Nationwide, the union represents more than 36,000 workers. But for over a decade, a specific group, the security personnel, said they have been unfairly treated, with their overtime allowances left unpaid. According to the General Secretary, King James Azotiba, the affected members feel neglected and disrespected and are now ready to make their voices heard.
We ain't some who do it because of channel so mammy and I was a soldier, that's an so bad in their dumbi edomania. Only Ibisha now you're saying as more quite strong so.